The fifth aliyah of Parshas Ve'era, page 31 in the Chayinu. We now continue in the middle of the second plague. We ended off yesterday. Pharaoh dared Moshe, challenged Moshe if he can get the frogs, if he can daven to Hashem to remove the frogs by tomorrow. So Moshe replies, yes, tomorrow. In Zion, verse 7, the frogs will leave you, from you and from your houses, and from your servants, from your people. They will only remain in the river. Ches. Moshe and Aaron left Pharaoh's presence. Moshe cried out to Hashem, cried out to Hashem concerning the frogs that he inflicted upon Pharaoh. Ches, he left and cried out. Immediately he left and he cried right away that they should leave tomorrow. Tes, Hashem did like Moshe's word, and the frogs in the houses, they died. The frogs in the houses, they died. The frogs in the houses, in the courtyards, in the fields, they all died. Okay. Yud. The Egyptians gathered them into heaps, and the land stank. Chamarim is an unusual word. It means tziburim, which means heaps and heaps.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about the other frogs.
Yeah. Just English translates as degraded. Well, the reason Rashi doesn't talk about it is because it's a medrash and it's not relevant to the simple understanding of the verses. I guess. Degraded means heaps. Okay, so it's heaps of frogs. Yud Aleph. Pharaoh saw there was relief, so he hardened his heart. He persisted in his heart stubbornness. Did not heed them. He did not heed Moshe and Aaron's words. Kashti b'Hashem, as Hashem had said would happen. Es libai. He persisted in his stubbornness. Lashain pa'ul hu. This is a infinitive form. It's a continuous action tense. Like we say, haloich v'nasaya, v'hakois esmoya, v'sha'ol be'elim, hakiv v'tzaya. Basically, he was persisting in his hardening his heart. He was constantly hardening his heart. Kashdi Hashem, as Hashem had said, where did Hashem say this? Hashem said in chapter 7, verse 4, Pharaoh not listen to you. Yud Beis. Hashem said to Moshe, Emor el Aaron, say to Aaron, raise your staff and strike the dust of the earth, and I'll become lice throughout the land of Egypt. Yud Beis. Emor el Aaron, say to Aaron, lo yohi offer kitai lukos de Moshe. It was not fitting the dust be struck by Moshe. The fish hagin love kisharges as Misri, because it provided him with protection when he killed the Egyptian. He hit him in the sand. But locally Aaron, therefore, it was struck by Aaron. So Aaron should strike the sand, the earth. Yud Gimel. And they did so. And Aaron raised his hand with his stick and struck the dust of the earth. And the swarm of lice came by man and people. upon men and humans and people and animals. The whole dust of the earth became lice in the land of Egypt. Yud Gimel Batia Kinam. The Kinam is the Rechisha, the swarm. Yudava Yasu Chena Chartumim Belatayim Leitzis Akinim Leyachoilu. The sorcerers likewise tried to produce lice with their secret spells to conjure lice, Leitzias Akinim, to produce lice. They were not able to. Patia Kinam Ba'adamaima, and the swarm of lice remained in the people and animals. Rashi, Leitzias Akinim, they want to create them from another place. They're trying to create and bring them from. Oh, interesting. Rashi says they're always trying to show Moshe that he's not so special, right? So what did he do, Moshe? The sorcerers, they got to get them dust. So they can't get dust from Egypt because it's all lice already. So what do? They got to get dust from whatever, I don't know, Jordan. But they couldn't get that dust to become lice. They're not able to. Why couldn't they get it? Why did they fail? The first time they were able to make blood and frogs, they could not make dust. Because we said earlier, one of their mechanisms was, and I don't really get, sorcery. They would use demons, which have, these malevolent metaphysical forces to, help shift, stuff. Let's say water into blood. But a shade, whatever a shade is, a demon, there's no power over anything smaller than a sa'ira, than a barley corn.
Barley is from what? The Midrash.
What?
The barley level is something stated in the Midrash, I take it.
Yeah, the Gemara. The Agada in the Gemara.
Okay.
Too small.
25 verse Tesvav 15. The source said to Pharaoh,
Sanhedrin.
"That's this is the finger of God." But Pharaoh hardened his heart, didn't listen to them like God predicted. Tesvav this plague was not done through sorcery. Rather, it is from Hashem. They said it's the finger of God because they saw the sorcery couldn't do it.
They didn't say Hashem, they said Elohim.
Oh, Elohim. Right. Hashem is
They would not use that.
Hashem, by the way, doesn't mean the name Havai, and we use it like that, but Hashem just means the name, like
When you use it, okay, yeah.
I'm saying, right. So Elohim is the finger of Elohim. Okay. Kashdibra Hashem, as Hashem had said, Pharaoh will not listen to you. Tazayin, 16. Hashem said to Moshe, rise early in the morning and present yourself before Pharaoh. When he goes out to the water, to the bathroom, thus said Hashem, release my people that they may serve me. Next page, Yud Zayin, verse 17, page 34 in the Chayenu. For if you do not release my people, I'm going to incite the horde of wild beasts against you, your servants, your people, you're in your houses. I will incite them into your house, the Arev. Which we'll see what that is in a minute. And the house of Egypt will be filled with the Arev, the Gam Hadama, Hashem Aleh, and also the earth, which as well as the the earth will be filled with them as well. Inside and outside, there will be the Arev. What's Arev? Let's
Wild
see.
beasts.
So, yeah, let's see. Mashliach means incite. I will set them on you. I'll sick them on you. Shen behemis ashalach ba'am l'shoin shisui, which is inciter in Old French. Es Arev, the horde of wild beasts. Kol minei chayes rois nechoshen akram buvia. What's Arev? It means a mixture, a horde of wild beasts, snakes, scorpions, and they will wreak destruction. Sorry, one second. Rashi then says, there was a reason in the Medrash why God gave every particular plague. So the Medrash they bring here, this can be analogous to the way king wages war. In the order followed by a sovereign power when it besieges a city. At first, it ruins the city's water sources. And afterwards, the attackers blast wailing sounds with shofar trumpets in order to frighten and confuse the inhabitants. So to the frogs, they would, croak. It's akin to the scary noises the invading army makes. This is the Medrash Rabbi Tanchuma. There's a Sikha of the Rebbe, the Rashi Sikha. To look it up, which has some big questions on this Rashi. Right? Why is Rashi mentioning the Midrash now? By plague number 4. Right? Said either in the beginning, by plague number 1, plague number 10. If you want to, recount them. Why are you giving this paradigm like smack in the middle? Get the question? Like, why is this piece about the plagues are war tactics? Why are you mentioning that by step number 4? So I think the Rebbe proves from that. I forget the whole details, but the Rebbe had to bring that in order to explain the word Arev. Arev is a hard word to understand. We know it. Rashi tells us the animals, but it just means Arev. It doesn't mean animals. It means Arev. It can mean anything. It can mean a few things. It's an unusual word. I don't know. Like we take for granted Rashi spoon feeds us, but it's an unusual word. Rashi has to do detective work to prove it means that. So I think part of the detective work is explain the place, whatever. I'll see it. I'll bring it in a moment. As done it comes. All right.
It's the same word as Ma'ariv. It comes from the.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means
darkening.
I don't know. I'm just noticing making a simple comparison.
Yeah.
And it is. It's the same word. There's got to be some kind of a connection.
It means darkening. So there's a lot of interesting words.
It also means bringing on a pleasantness to the evening.
Remembering?
It's Ma'ariv has to make something pleasant and
sweet. Yeah.
And sweet. Yeah, exactly. So it's
we'll do it at the end. Let's go back there in a moment. On that day, I will set apart the land of Goshen, that my people are situated. There will be no Arev there, no wild beast horde there. In order you should know, that I am God right here on earth. Rashi v'fleisi, unusual words. Rashi translate means v'frashti. I will designate. I will set apart. Mavdelas and fresh means separated. I will set apart the Jews by plague number 4. You should know that I am Hashem amongst the right here on earth. Even though my divine presence in the heavens, my decree is enacted in lower spheres. Very interesting. The verse telling us that even though Hashem is associated with the heavens, but I'm not only the heavens, I'm right down, my decree affects down here. Even if you don't see God, and God is relegated to more of the spiritual, still my power extends to earth. Okay. So if you want to know a little bit of insight, a little Rashi deep dive.
What was that? There was a movie which reminds me of Arrow, but it's with who was that actor who he recently committed suicide, but I forgot.
Rob Reiner?
No, it was not Rob. It was it's like they were playing a game. The kids were playing a game, and then
I don't know.
and all of a sudden, out of the game came out all of these wild animals. And
yeah.
Jumanji.
What was it? Jumanji. Yeah, this brings Jumanji to my mind.
Interesting. Good analogy. Okay. All right. So
it
here's
must
the
be
deal.
based on this.
By the way, it's a good point. I wonder, maybe not today, how much movie, fiction, fantasy, books or movies that a lot of the authors, you wonder how biblically literate they are. A lot of, I think, fiction is based on Greek mythology, or at least, they're like J.K. Rowling. A lot of her stuff she was like a major in Greek mythology.
Right.
Harry Potter.
Rabbi, don't forget this. One major area, C.S. Lewis, Narnia. He was a religious philosopher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And his and the fantasy revolves around Christian principles.
Interesting. Okay.
Very, very pleasant writing.
And on top of it all, Hashem is guiding it himself for us.
Okay, I just want to tell something, a special treat today, because no reason.
A special treat.
Arov, Rashi tells us, Arov, we don't know Arov. We're reading the Chumash. Every year, we forget it, I forget it. So we're learning it fresh. Let's say you're learning it for the first time. And you know Hebrew, you come to the word Arov. You don't know, Arov is an unusual word. What does it mean? Rashi tells you it means a mixed multitude of animals, of dangerous animals. So none of the commentators give us, I'm reading in another Chumash, none of the commentators give a satisfactory explanation as to why Rashi, Rashi said it means the mixed multitude of animals, and he says, by the way, this is similar, the first 4 plagues are similar to war tactics, water supply, scary noises, etc. Okay, so question.
Well, it's Adonai Ish Milchama.
Were the Jewish people afflicted by the lice? So the Torah says the lice upon man and beast in verse 14 and doesn't distinguish between Jew and non-Jew. So at a literal level, it sounds like the plague did affect the Jews at a literal level. Yeah. This is according to a great scholar.
Really? Because a few places it says none of them are hurt.
In fact, only by the following plague of wild animals did the Torah say that I will set the Jews apart. That implies that till now they weren't. The Jews were also affected. But why? Why do the Jews deserve to be afflicted by the plague? So the plague of lice has a specific purpose. We say that it led the magicians to see that it's the finger of God. For that to be achieved, it was necessary that the plague should affect everybody unconditionally. For only an unlimited plague would lead the magicians to conclude it was caused by God. It was unlimited. If the Jews had not been affected, then they would have said, "Oh, it's just a sorcery. You're doing it, partial, not unlimitedly." Since they couldn't duplicate the plague, they would have just said, "You're greater sorcerers than us." But the fact that trying to show us the finger of the unlimited God was in the Jews. I don't know why I got into that.
Who brings that down?
Because it's Elohim that's behind it all, and Hashem is our new
Okay.
understanding of Elohim, our Elohim.
Okay, I didn't mean to talk about the lice. I apologize.
Who brings that down?
So what's wrong with talking about lice?
No, because I want to talk about the wild beasts. Okay,
All right.
so Rashi said it means wild animals, Arov, and he brings in this analogy of war tactic. A super commentary on Rashi called the Sifsei Chachamim he says like this: why does Rashi bring the military tactics now? That's my question. By plague number 4. If you want to say by plague number 1, you want to look back to plague number 10. Why are you doing it smack in the middle? It's not only relevant to plague number 4, it's relevant to plague 1, 2, and 3 also. So say at the beginning. Why does he bring it now? Since the first 3 plagues are easily understood why they were done. He said, Nile was their deity, and the plague of lice led them to blood and frogs are from the Nile, to show the Nile is not powerful. And then the lice was to make the Egyptians, cry uncle. It's the finger of God. At this point, we need an explanation of the 4th. That's why he says. So we have kind of explanations for 1, 2, 3 already. Before we have no clue what's this about. So we have to give the analogy about it's following war tactic.
Since you're identifying a pattern and you don't have enough data points.
Well, we had enough data for the first 3. We don't have data for 4. He gives this new paradigm, military paradigm. Okay. The Gur Aryeh, another super commentary on Rashi, says the first 3 plagues came from the immediate locality of the Egyptians: blood and frogs from the Nile, lice from the earth. Here we're faced with a invasion of beasts that were unusual. They didn't have, polar bears or bear, and then everything. These animals weren't indigenous to Egypt. So since it was so unusual, Rashi to say it's like akin to hiring mercenaries. You hire. Another super commentary says Rashi mentions the military tactics because he's troubled by the question: if God wanted the Egyptians to die, why didn't he plague to kill them right away? Okay. The Rebbe says none of this is satisfactory because the following. Sifsei Chachamim Gur Aryeh said the first 3 plagues are understood, self-understood. So then, why does Rashi say in this thing about the water supply being hit? We don't need it. If we're not using it to explain blood and frogs, why do you give military paradigm for them? We know that they have a reason. We have another reason for blood and frogs.
Catch these.
Right? To strike the Nile. So why are you giving now a second reasoning? You're not bringing it for that. You say you're not bringing it for those. Rashi's Twitter, he's very short. So why is he bringing another reason now? So that can't be the reason. Lavush Ora claims that Rashi finds it difficult to understand why God didn't kill them immediately. Like, why are they not dying? The Egyptians, why are you just zapping them? So you say it's a war, it's a prolonged, process. But that's obvious. God never killed the Egyptians. Even at the end, it's only the firstborns. It's never about killing them. So here's the Rebbe's understanding of Rashi. The Torah is very vague by this plague. It says, I will incite a urov, a mixture. A mixture of what? Furthermore, the Torah makes no reference to the effect of this mixture. It doesn't say that the mixture bit them. It doesn't say that. The mixture came, wreaked havoc, and left. Mixture could be many things. Rashi informs us that the mixture is wild animals. Okay. So if you're telling us it's animals, then why not say animals? Say chayot ra'ot, wild animals, bad animals. Like mixture is like a ancillary point.
Right.
It's a ancillary description. That's not the main description.
Just said behemoth.
Behemoths, chayos.
Right.
To answer this question, Rashi is saying it means animals. At the same time, it's called mixture without specifying animals. He brings the analogy of military tactics, which a key tactic is scaring the enemy and wreaking havoc. While the Medrash quotes this concept in reference to the plague of frogs, Rashi uses it here to answer our question of the mixture of wild beasts. That the purpose of these animals is to cause fear and havoc. With this, you understand the importance of a mixture. Explains that's the confoundment. A mixture. If it's just like a pack of wolves, it's not as havoc. It's scary. It's bad. But when it's lions, tigers, and bears and wolves, then it's just like it's havoc. So in conclusion, the purpose of the plague of wild beasts was to wreak havoc and impose fear on them. Therefore, the only detail which the Torah stresses is the variety of animals, which adds to the greater level of havoc. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for that extra.